Around 600 BCE, northern India was a patchwork of isolated regional powers. Within 3 centuries, the Mauryan Empire had expanded across the subcontinent, reaching from the mountains of Afghanistan deep into the Deccan Plateau. How does a localized kingdom transform into a subcontinent-spanning superpower? Magadha, located in the fertile Ganga River Valley, provided the initial advantage. Its river systems functioned as a high-volume transportation network for trade and troops. Magadha also controlled the region's largest iron ore deposits. Artisans used this iron to forge heavy plows, which generated the massive food surpluses needed to feed a growing population. They also manufactured the sharp weapons required to establish military dominance over neighboring territories. These physical resources, surplus grain and superior metal, provided the foundational requirements for imperial growth. In 327 BCE, the Greek king Alexander the Great arrived in the Indus Valley, testing the strength of these emerging Indian powers in battles against local rulers like King Puru. Alexander eventually retreated, but his campaign established direct, permanent contact between the Indian and Greek worlds. This silver coin illustrates the immediate exchange of ideas. By adopting Greek aesthetics in their currency and sculpture, local rulers integrated foreign artistic standards into their own regional artifacts. These collisions introduced new administrative tools and artistic styles that altered regional, cultural, and political evolution. By 321 BCE, Chandragupta Maurya had unified the subcontinent. However, ruling millions of diverse people across vast distances required more than just a large army. He relied on the strategist Kautilya, whose manual, the Arthashastra, provided a sophisticated blueprint for managing the state's economy, law, and defense. Kautilya's Saptanga theory modeled the empire as an interconnected organism with 7 vital limbs. The monarch, or Swami, serves as the guiding mind. The Durga, or fortified cities, act as the protective outer shell for the state's central administration. The Kosha, the treasury, functions as the stomach, digesting tax revenue to fuel the Danda, the massive military muscle required to enforce the law. For Kautilya, raw military power was useless without this sophisticated, interconnected administrative brain to direct it. To fund this system, the Mauryans secured continental trade routes like the Uttarapatha in the north and the Dakshinapatha in the south, moving timber, spices, and silk across the empire. Artisans and merchants organized into srenis, or guilds. These powerful alliances regulated their own production and prices, operating as independent economic units within the larger state. Because these guilds stabilized local economies and standardized production, they provided the central government with a reliable, consistent stream of tax revenue. This silver coin, with its specific geometric stamps, is physical evidence of that thriving money economy and its standardized value. This organized civilian economy generated the immense revenue required to maintain and sustain imperial expansion. Emperor Ashoka inherited this wealthy, heavily armed Mauryan machine at its peak. In 261 BCE, he unleashed that machine against the kingdom of Kalinga. The war was a total military success, but it cost hundreds of thousands of lives and caused widespread destruction. Faced with the human cost of his victory, Ashoka renounced the policy of Digvijay, or conquest through warfare. He pivoted the state toward Dhamma, a universal ethical code emphasizing nonviolence, compassion, and social responsibility. Ashoka concluded that an empire built solely on force would eventually destroy itself without a moral foundation to unify its people. Ashoka broadcasted this new ethical code by constructing massive stone pillars across the subcontinent, placing them along major trade routes for the public to see. These edicts were written in the spoken language of the people, Prakrit, and permanently etched into the stone using the Brahmi script to ensure the laws remained visible for generations. The empire's architectural focus shifted from military fortifications to massive public monuments of peace and meditation, like the Great Stupa at Sanchi. It raises a question for any modern power. Can an empire survive through ethics alone, or is the strength of arms always the non-negotiable foundation of greatness?